Hi, my name is Princess Oti. I'm the COO and co-founder at Kaoshi. Kaoshi is financially connecting the globe, and we are actually currently focused on the immigrant demographic by helping immigrants connect to the services that meet their financial obligations in their home countries. And this is done in two ways. The first is that we're leveraging the current wave of open banking and open finance currently going global, allowing us to go in and gather raw financial data to convert this into readable financial profiles for the immigrants, which in turn allow them to access services back in their home countries. Services ranging from mortgage services, actually accessing mortgage lenders, and accessing the best remittance offers to send their money back to their home countries. So it's like financing. For example, an immigrant now can surprise his mom on her birthday with a car without having to pay for it in advance. He cannot have it backed and financed by a bank in his home country. Imagine that. Think of LinkedIn, for example, where you can go in and build a profile to connect to those around the globe. Kaoshi is quite similar in that we have built pipelines that are able to go in and gather raw financial data to convert these into readable financial profiles that allow the immigrants connect institutions and banks across the globe. We have built pipelines that allow us go in and gather users' financial data, of course permissioned, which ultimately allows them access to financial services in their home countries. For example, a user can then access an auto loan, can surprise their mom, for example, with a car back in their home country, backed and financed by a bank in their home country. The same user can access a mortgage service in their home country. The same user can also have access to a wallet or a cash advance in their home country to kind of help them sort out their financial obligations and needs back home. And the same user is also able to access health insurance services and is able to shop across different providers on the platform that allow the user shop and pick the best health coverage for their loved one in their home country. So these are the services that a user that is on Kaoshi is able to access. And even more interestingly, users are also able to come on the platform and shop across different money transfer providers and then get the best deal of the day, the best deals, rates and fees to send money back into their home countries. Immigrants have financial obligations in their home countries. In fact, this number crossed 700 billion US dollars in the last year, the amount of money sent by immigrants back into their home countries. But the only service that exists for immigrants is just sending money back home, remittance. There's no service that actually addresses the underlying reasons or the reasons for which they actually send back money in the first place. On the other hand, the banks and financial institutions do want to offer services cross borders, but they lack the platform and technology to actually make this happen. But Kaoshi has come to change the game. We're leveraging the open finance, open banking, going global to bridge the gap that currently exists, created by geography, allowing the banks to reach the users across borders and allowing the immigrants have profiles that let them access services back in their home countries, which then makes Kaoshi the one-stop shop for immigrant financial services in their home countries. So far, and for now, we have focused on the Nigerian immigrant demographic. This is because if you look at the remittance figures per capita, Nigerians send the most money back to their home country than any other demographic in the world. So this shows a high level of financial interaction and obligations in their home countries. Our first or launch product allows Nigerian banks offer their own cross-border money transfer services. We also have other institutions offering services like cash advance, mortgage, health insurance, financing, and the likes. We plan on expanding into other markets that have high migrant populations. For example, like India. As of today, we have built pipelines into 7 different countries, the US, Canada, to the UK, to parts of Europe, and by this year, and we also plan on expanding into other parts of Europe and places like Saudi, UAE, and Kuwait. Oh yes, so because we don't have access to users' financial data, we can process these into proof of payment, which is what SWIFT pretty much communicates to the banks anyway. We have created a more efficient alternative to SWIFT network for amounts of $1,000 and below, which is the typical amount of money you see in retail cross-border money transfer. On the sales side, I look forward to signing up more banks and expanding out of the Nigerian market, because what we've actually built is open to any bank that has an interest in remotely providing services to its people across borders. On the product side, as we have more banks sign up and have more people creating profiles, Kaoshi evolves to a financial network of some sort where the bank can actually get updates on the user's maybe income status or employment status as well. And we go from just giving banks, institutions access to repository of financial profiles to engendering financial connection, to optimizing that relationship between the institutions, banks, and the end users. We license access to the comprehensive financial profiles on our platform of users to banks and financial institutions in the home countries of these immigrants. So our business model is that the banks and institutions pay an annual license fee to access the comprehensive profiles, which enables them to provide the services that I mentioned above. We live in a very interesting era with open banking and open finance now going global, with growing support for this move globally. Now, people actually want control of their data and want to determine how it's being used. Kaoshi gathers this raw financial data, which includes bank statements, income statements, existing investments, background check, existing credit facilities and credit scores into a comprehensible financial report which the banks can access and offer the needed services which they need to. So we're pretty much bridging this divide created by geography and allowing access to occur across the border. Imagine an Indian immigrant in Silicon Valley now has his financial profile, of course permissioned, being visible by a bank in India, which allows him to access the services like financing, loans, pre-funded wallet or cash advance, and mortgage services back in his home country. This is the power of what we're doing. We're engendering financial connection in a way that turns the world into a small financial village, the way it's now a small social village.